enchiladas are just Mexican lasagna. There, I got it out of my system, and we can all move past the controversy. Right, comments? They are also a very good food. Gunderson Valley, where I live, in case you aren't caught up on your A Cooking Thing channel lore, is famous for its chili powder. They call it the spice, and Timothée Chalamet and Spider-Man's wife are really big into it, as well as several other warring factions, like Elvis with a bald cap on. Anyway, I control the spice, so I figure why not fuel the fires of Tex-Mex non-traditional flavor with a little local infusion, including maybe a little bit of a chocolate surprise, which now I've spoiled. Fun, right? Well, let's start off by rough chopping 1 large white onion and a head of garlic. Next, we gotta get them all into a pan and prep them for roasting. Pause. If you're doing this with real dried then rehydrated peppers, now would be when you prep those for roasting as well. That's a different kind of recipe though, not one-to-one with this one. So I'm gonna try and point out the differences as we go. All chopped? Good. All those years you spent doing karate VHS tapes in the garage finally paying off. Next, we're gonna kick on the oven's broiler and pop the vegetables under it for 20 or so minutes or until you get a little bit of charring, like that. Pause again. If you're doing this with whole peppers instead of the powder variety, you're gonna want to get rid of any aggressively charred bits of your pepper skin. That stuff is still bitter about that time in middle school where Becky got the big part in the play and they didn't. And frankly, you don't need that bitterness in your life. Now onto my archenemy, the food processor, which I painstakingly prepared before filming for ease of access and no losses of time. Add the vegetables, including the peppers if you did those, along with an optional patch of cilantro if you don't have that funky cilantro taste like soap gene. And top it all off with a splash of chicken stock and about a tablespoon or so of olive oil. Process it on high until they all move in together and accept that they may never be able to afford an apartment alone in the big city. Not even a studio. Okay, now for the rest of the sauce construction part. Pause again. If you're using the whole peppers, you can skip this next short bit. They have what we call naturally thickening agents, which means you don't really need to artificially add to it. Unpause, because we gotta make a roux. 3 tablespoons each of olive oil and flour come together on low heat until the raw flour smell is gone. Once that's done, you can start streaming in a little bit of chicken stock and allowing it to come together with a little bit of stirring until it's thick and gravy-esque. But that's not where we stop. Oh no, we got a lot to go still. Let's add our onion, garlic, and cilantro, I don't know, paste, I guess? Just throw it in there, whatever, with the 1/4 cup of chili powder, which you're not going to put in if you did the whole peppers path of this choose-your-own-adventure. Next, we're adding a teaspoon each of Mexican oregano, smoked paprika, coriander, cumin, salt, and black pepper, bam, etc. Stir that together and eventually add the rest of your quart of chicken stock, followed by a 1/2 quart or so of water. Now we need to give it some space. At some point, we're gonna add a pinch or 2 of sugar since the powder is gonna be naturally more bitter. Again, this is not necessary if you're gonna do the whole pepper root. And what the hey, let's throw in a little surprise chocolate in there for that mole vibe. No one's gonna object to that, right, comments? Let it boil, toil, trouble, whatever it's gotta do to become the witch's brew of our dreams. That dreamlike state is a good mindset to be in, by the way, because I'm about to do some stuff which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. See, here we have a second pot on medium heat, and to that we're adding, enchilada sauce from a can. Okay, hear me out. We're gonna boil our chicken in the sauce, but if you do that method, you end up needing to make a lot more enchilada sauce for a big batch, and that's just not economical. So we got a high-quality store-brand sauce. We're adding a little water and a couple spoonfuls of our homemade sauce so that it's got that little extra additional flavor, and we're boiling 3 to 4 chicken breasts right inside the sauce until they reach an internal temperature of 165 Fahrenheit. Now's a good time to shred that chicken, and while we're at it, let's also shred a truckload of pepper jack cheese. Yeah, that's literally not even enough, but I'm bored and it's time to assemble. Assembly is simple, but incredibly messy, because I do it in a way I feel like not everyone does. I don't know, I did very little research going into this one. Anyway, a baking dish receives a base coat of our sauce. Then, to our pot of sauce goes our flour tortilla. Fully submerge it, James Cameron style. Then fill it with cheese and chicken, also James Cameron style. Wrap it, stick it in the pan, get its friends the same treatment, top with a little bit more sauce and a lot more cheese, then boom, into the oven at 375 Fahrenheit for a bit, until that cheese is a melty, gorgeous mess, just like me at the prom. Okay, take a look at this shot and tell me that that doesn't at least look a little bit like a Tex-Mex lasagna. Look, I dare to do things different in my own special, stupid way. That's what makes life lovely. Good day, I say to you. Good day. You know how many recipes call for tomato sauce for the enchilada base? At least I don't do that.